All right. Good morning. It is Monday, July 3rd, and we are getting this summer started. This is Kinesiology. I will be your host for the summer. My name is Orlando Rivera, or newly, freshly minted Dr. Rivera, if you will. And let's get going. So, just an overview about this lecture. This is your introduction to your summer class. So what you can expect in this very brief presentation, an introduction to myself, we'll talk a little bit about the syllabus, we'll talk a little bit about the class expectations and format, and I will give you a week one assignment. You'll have several week assignments, which will also be announced via Blackboard. Okay, so there are currently 6 of you registered for this class. Of the 6 of you, I know 3, so I'll do a brief introduction. My name is Professor Orlando Rivera. I'm a professor at St. Peter's University, but I am now also a lecturer at Lehman College. I own a gym in Stony Point, New York that works mostly with high school and college athletes. I also coach this track and field, and I am also a father and a husband. This class talks a lot about movements, and I'll say a major goal is for you guys to be movement experts, right? So part of that is motor development over the course of a lifetime and how we develop. So I will oftentimes kind of reference my daughter and how she has developed so far in her life, and how hopefully she will continue to develop. So my areas of expertise, as you can probably see, I am absolutely more of a performance-based exercise science expert, where I focus on resistance training, powerlifting, sprinting, hurdling, jumping, so on and so forth. So career aspirations. Some of this slide is a little old, but we talk a lot also about what you, the student, would really like to do for a career. I am big on career development and figuring out your own individual path. But part of that is just kind of enlightening you guys to be like, hey, this is a possibility. You could go down this path or you could go down that path. And really, I'm just here to kind of guide you. So sometimes I'll talk a little bit about my own career path, which has really changed a lot over the last 10, 15 years. So like I said, I own a gym. I wanted to be a tenure track professor. So you guys now as 19, 20, 21, 22-year-olds really should start thinking, what do I want to do? And it's not even what do I want to do. It really should start with what interests me. That's the first question. What am I interested in? What can I see myself doing all day? But like, what do I have fun with? Right? Because I have fun with, like, I love being in the gym. I love powerlifting. I love coaching track and field. So that's really what it should be. Like, what do you love to do? And a major goal of mine is to help you, the student, really learn the art of teaching or coaching movement in this class. Right? So it's not just sports, but how can you identify movement patterns and really help people move with more quality? Okay, so let's talk a little bit about the syllabus. So let's talk about the methods of evaluation first. I think that's the most important. This class is 6 weeks long, right? We are going to have quizzes. The quizzes will come in 2 formats. One format is a simple Blackboard quiz that, if you've ever had me, we typically do every single week. Or it might come in the form of an ed puzzle. If you've ever had me online, I always do ed puzzles. So you're going to have both ed puzzle lecture quizzes and online Blackboard quizzes. I will post on Blackboard and tell you what you are expected to complete for the week. You'll have some message boards assignments, probably not that many. I'm not a big message board person. You will have some question packets that really are just questions from the ends of chapters. They're not going to be an exhaustive list. Some questions you have to put a little bit more time into. Other questions you could probably just quickly list from the slides. But I will tell you, you do need your textbook for this class. So I highly, highly recommend you figure out where you're going to get your textbook. An online version of the textbook is perfectly fine, and probably highly recommended so you can get the access to the textbook right away. We'll have a midterm that will obviously be online. It'll be multiple choice and true false. We'll have a final exam that will also be online, and you will have a career project. Like I said, a career aspirations are a big part of this class. The class format, obviously this class is online asynchronous, so you can go through the class, I'll say, a little bit at your own pace. You're expected to do things weekly, and I think this kind of forces you, the student, to really just log in every week and tune in every single week. This is not a summer class where you could just take the first 4 to 5 weeks off and then the last week do the entire class. If your assignments are late, you will get either 0 credit or in some cases partial credit. Let's move on. So this class, right? This class is really an introduction to kinesiology. Um, the textbook and the class really has 3 phases. The first phase is really just an introduction to kinesiology. We will talk a lot about kinesiology as a whole. We'll talk about like activities of daily living, how we move, so on and so forth. And that's really, I think, the first 3 chapters. After that, we actually get into topical areas, right? So kinesiology is this overarching subdiscipline of movement. There are many subdisciplines of movement. So, for instance, you could think about, I don't know, physiology. That is one subdiscipline of kinesiology. Motor control. That is another subdiscipline of kinesiology. So there's an individual chapter in the text for all of these subdisciplines, and you'll have a lecture for each subdiscipline. From there, the back end of the text and this class is going to talk a lot about careers. Right? We're not going to get through all the chapters in the textbook in 6 weeks, but I'm going to talk about the ones that I think are the most relevant or pertinent. And then this will culminate with your career project. So really kind of break this up into thirds. An introduction to kinesiology and the overarching topic. The individual subdisciplines within kinesiology are the second part of this semester. And then the last part of this semester or class, I'll say, are career focused. Okay, so week 1, you're going to have several week 1 assignments. This is your first one, right? When you hear the word kinesiology, right, go on Blackboard. I'll put up a discussion board. When you hear the word kinesiology, what does it mean? What do you think about? What does it mean to you? This, obviously, with this stuff, there's definitely no right or wrong, but I want you to start thinking about kinesiology. Many of us finished our semesters in early to mid-May. We haven't really had our brain going. So I want us just to start thinking, what do you think about when you hear kinesiology? And then secondly, as I said, let's start thinking about our careers. I looked at our list. I think 5 out of 6 of you are either juniors or seniors. Guess what? We're going to be jumping into the workforce pretty soon. So I really want us thinking about our career aspirations. What do you want to do for a living? And I want you to post that on there. If you want to go a little deeper and tell me kind of specifically why you want to do it, great. Throw that on there. I will also send out your Chapter 1 lecture as well this week. So this week I'm just sending out the introduction lecture, your Chapter 1 lecture. All right, it's the 4th of July. I'm not trying to crush you guys week 1, but next week I will send out 3 full lectures to kind of make up for this week. Again, you can sort of do them at your own time, but they are meant to do on a weekly basis. And all the due dates will be available via Blackboard. As there is a lot of information over the course of 6 weeks, guys, if you have questions, there's only 6 of you, just shoot me an email. I'm going to be pretty good. I'm in my office every single day. I'm going to be pretty good about getting back to you. So, like I said, if you have any questions, just let me know.